So a tweet from Jason Kalkana stopped me in my tracks today. He says Starlink is going to be the biggest subscription product ever created, bigger than Microsoft Windows, Netflix, and Spotify combined. He thinks it hits 1 billion subscribers in 10 years. And honestly, my first reaction was, yeah, that sounds right. But then my second reaction was, wait, Starlink isn't even the biggest one, not even close. Look, I know how this sounds. Every Tesla bull on YouTube says Elon's companies are going to be the biggest in the world. You've heard it 1,000 times. So let me try to do something different here. I want to actually count, sit down and count the customers, not the market cap, not the revenue, not the hype, just the people. How many human beings on this planet are going to be paying Elon Musk companies for something every single month by 2035? Because when you actually do the math, something kind of crazy shows up. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, XAI, they're not just building products. They're building the rails that almost everyone on Earth is going to live on. And the part that no one's really talking about, it's not Starlink. It's not even cars. It's bots. And not the kind of bots you're picturing. So here's what we're going to do today. 5 buckets: bots, transport, Starlink, brain chips, and the device that replaces your phone. By the end of this, I think you'll see the same thing I do. Okay, so let's start with the one everyone underestimates: bots. When people hear Tesla bot, they pictured Optimus, right? The humanoid walking around your kitchen, folding laundry, that kind of thing. And yeah, that's part of it. Elon's been pretty clear about the scale he's thinking. He said at the World Economic Forum that Tesla wants to sell Optimus to the public by the end of 27. He thinks they can do 1 million units a year by 2029 or 2030. And long term, he said it's on stage multiple times. He thinks there will be more humanoid robots than humans on Earth, 1-to-1 or higher. So that's already 8, 9, 10 billion units just for the humanoid form factor. But here's the part I want you to really sit with. Elon doesn't just say humanoid. Listen carefully to what he actually says. He keeps saying everyone is going to want their own C3PO and their own R2D2. That's 2 robots, 2 completely different shapes. Okay, one walks like a person, the other rolls around and beeps. Why does he keep saying both? Because the humanoid is just one form factor. It's the one that gets the headlines. But the real business is way bigger. Think about it like this. Tesla is building the brain, the vision system, the AI chip, the neural net, the training infrastructure. Once you have that, you can drop it into anything with a camera and a battery and some way to move. And suddenly that thing is intelligent. So what does that look like? Let me just brainstorm out loud for a second, right? You have a robot that just rolls around your house and cleans. That's one. A robot lawnmower that actually understands what a weed is versus a flower. That's 2. A robot that lives in your garage or works in your car, maybe. A robot arm that cooks. A robot the size of a cat that plays with your kids. A pool cleaner that actually knows where the dirt is. A security bot that patrols your warehouse at night. A delivery bot that walks your groceries to the door. Maybe a construction bot that lays bricks all day. A farm bot that picks fruit one at a time. A medical bot in a hospital that hands tools to surgeons. Now, I know Elon has always said it's all about humanoids, and humanoids can do all of those things I just said. But the reality is, anything that is a device that has a chip and has cameras can become a bot. So every single one of those I just mentioned is a robot. Every single one of those needs the exact same thing Tesla is already building for Optimus. Same vision system, the same chip, the same software, the same training data. And here's what's worth paying attention to. Tesla doesn't have to build all those itself. They can license. The same way Android licenses to phone makers. Tesla becomes the AI layer for every robot on Earth, no matter what shape it takes. So when you hear billions of bots, don't just picture billions of humanoids. Picture billions of objects. Some walk, some roll, some fly, some just sit on a counter. All of them are paying Tesla a subscription every month, forever. That's not one product. That's a whole category of products that doesn't really exist yet. And Tesla is the only company building both the body and the brain at the same time. Okay, so now let's talk about cars, because this one is also way bigger than people think. Tesla just crossed 9 million cumulative cars sold. Through Q1 2026, the number is about 9.2 million. That's the total. Every Model S, every Model 3, every Y, every X, every Cybertruck, every Semi. 20 plus years of building cars, they have 9 million. Now here's the thing. There are about 1.5 billion cars on the road in the world right now. So Tesla, after 20 years of being the most talked about car company on the planet, they have about 0.5% of the global car park. 0.5%. You think that's the ceiling? It's actually the floor. Because the moment Tesla cracks autonomy, they're not selling cars anymore. They're selling rides. Robotaxi means every single trip anyone takes anywhere is a potential Tesla customer. Not just car owners, everyone. The kid going to school, the grandma going to the doctor, the guy going to the airport, the person who can't afford a car at all. All of them become Tesla customers the moment they tap an app and Tesla pulls up. That's not a billion customers. That's basically every adult human on the planet who needs to get from point A to point B, which is all of us. And it doesn't stop at cars. Tesla Semi is for freight. One day, maybe Tesla will make a van. Robotaxi is that they have the small two-seater, but eventually they'll have many different form factors. Cybertruck is for trucks. Once the autonomy works, Tesla can build the vehicle for every use case, and every use case is a recurring revenue stream. You don't buy the vehicle, you buy the trip. Think about what that means for the math. If every person who currently uses Uber or Lyft becomes a Tesla rider, that's hundreds of millions right there. But then if you add public transit replacement, that's billions. If you add freight, you're getting into territory where almost every physical object that moves in economy is touching a Tesla at some point. That's not a car company. That's the operating system for moving stuff around the planet. Okay, so now let's actually talk about the Starlink thing that started all of this. So Jason Calcana said that 1 billion subscribers he believes in 10 years. Let's see if that's crazy or not. Starlink hit 10 million subscribers in February. They added 1 million users in 53 days. That's roughly 21,000 new subscribers every day. So if you just extend the current growth rate, even pessimistically, you're at 50 million in a couple of years, and you start to bend toward 100 million pretty quick. And that's before direct to sell really kicks in. Here's what people miss. It's not just for boats and RVs and for people in Montana anymore. The real prize is direct to sell. SpaceX is putting satellites up that talk directly to your existing phone. No special hardware, maybe some tweaks to the chip, but there's no need for a dish. Your iPhone or your Pixel just connects to a satellite when there's no tower. The moment that's fully working, Starlink isn't competing with the cable companies. It's competing with every cell carrier on Earth. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, Vodafone, China Mobile, all of them. And if you're in a country with bad coverage, Starlink is going to be a better carrier than the local ones by a lot. Now, Calcana says Microsoft Windows is around 400 million users. Netflix, he says, is around 300 million. Spotify, 360. If you add those up, that's about 1 billion subscribers across the 3 biggest software subscription products in the world combined. And his bet is that Starlink alone passes that by itself in 10 years. I think he's probably right. Honestly, I think he might actually be low. Because once direct to cell works, Starlink isn't this luxury internet service. It becomes the default backstop for every phone on the planet. There are about 8 billion phones on Earth. If even 1 in 5 ends up with a Starlink line on the bill in some form, that's 1.6 billion customers from one product. Okay, let's talk Neuralink. This is the one where I have to be careful because the timelines are still really early, but the numbers do matter. So as of February, Neuralink has 21 human participants in the trial. 12 of them have severe paralysis. One British Army veteran, he got the implant in December, and he was playing World of Warcraft with his thoughts 100 days later. Just thinking about it. That's already happened. So Elon said that they're expecting that in this year, 2026, they're going to start high volume production, almost fully automated surgery. The threads will go through the dura without removing it. That's the thing nobody's really clocking. Once the surgery is automated, the bottleneck on Neuralink isn't surgeons anymore. It's just throughput. Now here's the long version. Right now, Neuralink is for paralysis and blindness, real medical use. But Elon has been pretty clear from day one. The end goal is a general purpose brain interface. You get memory, you have communication, you have bandwidth between you and your AI. He wants everyone eventually to be able to get one if they want. So how big does that get? Okay, let's look at LASIK. Roughly 30 million people have had LASIK just to fix their eyes. That's elective brain surgery in the form of laser eye surgery. People line up for it because it makes life better. If Neuralink ever becomes a 15-minute outpatient procedure, and the upside is you can think faster, you can talk to your AI directly, you don't need a phone or a screen, I think that hits LASIK numbers pretty fast. And then it just grows from there. I'm not going to put a number on that one because I just don't know, but it's not zero. And in 20 years, it might be in the hundreds of millions. I don't think that's crazy anymore. Okay, last one. This one ties everything together. Elon said something in 2025 that I keep coming back to. He said somebody asked him about the future of phones, and he said, the phone is going to be an edge node for AI. There won't really be an operating system. There won't really be apps. The device will just render what you need based on what you ask for or what the AI thinks you want, 5 or 6 years out. So read that again. There won't be apps. There won't be an operating system. The device just needs three things, right? You have a battery, an AI chip, and a screen. You know what that means? It means the form factor is wide open. One option is a phone slap, but it could also be a pair of glasses. It could be an earpiece. It could be a pendant. It could be a ring, a pin on your shirt, maybe a watch. It could be even patch on your skin. A little device that sits next to you on the table. Whatever shape makes sense for whatever you're doing. Once you remove the operating system and the apps, you remove the only thing tying us to a rectangle of glass. The whole industry shifts. And who's positioned to make that device? Tesla already designs custom AI chips at scale. xAI already runs one of the biggest AI clusters in the world. Starlink already has the connectivity. Neuralink works on the human input side. SpaceX gets that data to and from space. Add it up, Tesla can build the chip, xAI runs the model, Starlink delivers the bandwidth. Neuralink is a long-term input device. They have every single layer. If even a fraction of the 8 billion phones on Earth get replaced by some kind of Musk-built edge device over the next 15 years, that's another billion plus customers from a product category that doesn't even exist yet. Okay, so let me steelman the bear case because some of this is generally uncertain and I don't want to pretend otherwise. First objection people will have, Elon does miss timelines. Yes, all the time. Robotaxi was supposed to be 2020, then he said 2022, then he said 2024. Optimus to the public was supposed to be 2025, now it's 2027. Full self-driving was always 1 year away. He's been wrong on the dates a lot. That's just facts. That's true. Second objection, most humanoid robot researchers think a billion bots is fantasy. Rodney Brooks, who co-founded iRobot, he called Elon's vision pure fantasy thinking earlier this year. He's a serious roboticist. He's not just hating. He genuinely thinks the hardware and the software gap is bigger than Elon admits. Third objection, Starlink subscribers don't equal Microsoft subscribers, right? A Starlink subscription costs 10 times what a Spotify sub costs. So even if you get to 1 billion subs, that's a different kind of business with different growth limits and different price sensitivities. Fourth objection, regulators. The FCC, the FAA, foreign governments, every country with its own telecom industry has a reason to slow Starlink down. Brain implants need FDA approval, country by country. Robotaxis need approval, city by city. None of this scales the way software scales. All of those are legit, every one of them. But here's the reframe. Notice that none of them are about the direction. They're all about the speed. Every single one of these things is happening. They're just happening on a different timeline than Elon says. So the question isn't, will Tesla bots ship? Yeah, they're already in factories. The question is, will it be 2028 or 2032? Will Starlink hit 1 billion users by 2035 or 2040? Will Neuralink be a consumer product in 20 years? Maybe 30. Either way, you end up in the same place. One company group serving more humans than any business in history. Just a question of how long it takes to get there. Okay, so if you're a Tesla investor watching this, here's how I think about it. Most people value Tesla like a car company that might also do robotaxi. So they look at car margins, car deliveries, maybe some upside from FSD. That gets you to about where the stock trades today. But if even half of what we just talked about is real, you're looking at a totally different business. You're looking at a company that owns the AI brain for every bot on Earth, the transportation network for billions of riders, a piece of every direct-to-cell phone subscription, the chip in your future glasses, and eventually the brain interface for the people who want it. That's not a car company. That's not even a tech company in the way we currently use that word. That's something we don't really have a name for yet. The way I think about it is you're not buying Tesla because you think they'll sell more cars. You're buying Tesla because they're the lead horse in basically every AI hardware race that matters. Cars, robots, chips, edge devices, they're in all of them, and they're not in second place. If that thesis is right, the stock is inexpensive. If it's wrong, you still own a great car company. The downside isn't zero, but the upside is something we generally haven't seen before in the history of public markets. So here's what I'd actually do with this. One, stop counting cars, start counting customers. Every quarter, ask yourself, how many recurring relationships does Tesla have with end users right now? Not cars sold, customers paying for something every month. That number is the one to watch. Two, pay attention to Optimus form factors. The first non humanoid bot Tesla shows is the moment this whole thesis goes from speculation to confirmed. Watch for it. Three, track Starlink direct to cell rollouts country by country. Every new country is a new few million potential phone customers. The list is going to grow fast in 2026 and 2027. Four, watch Neuralink patient counts. We went from 1 to 21 in about 2 years. If that doubles or triples in 2026, we're at the tipping point where the surgery becomes routine. That's the leading indicator. Five, save this video or write the numbers down somewhere. Then check back in 2 years. Because one of the easiest mistakes investors make is forgetting what they used to think was crazy. Almost everything in this video is going to sound boring and obvious by 2030. Right now, it sounds nuts. That gap is the opportunity. Look, I've been tracking this stuff for a long time, and I've sat through a lot of Elon hype cycles. I know the difference between marketing and momentum. This is momentum. The Starlink number is real. The car number is real. The Neuralink number, don't know. The Optimus production line, that's real. None of this is on a slide deck anymore. It's in the world. So Jason Calacanis is right that Starlink is going to be the biggest subscription product in history. I just think he's looking at the wrong product. The biggest one is the bot business. And the second biggest one is the transportation business. And then it's Starlink. And then it's everything else stacked on top. By 2035, more humans on this planet are going to pay Elon Musk companies for something every month than any company in history. That's not a prediction. That's just where the curves point if you connect them honestly. If this video helped you see it differently, please hit the like button and subscribe. As you know, I cover this stuff every day on the channel. We'll keep tracking the numbers as they come in. I'll see you in the next one.